Good evening, everybody. Call the uh, Board of Education, Mundelein Elementary School District 75 school board meeting for Tuesday, September 23rd. It's 6 o'clock to order. Roll call.
Right, Fingerhut, absent. Rose,
Here.
Carl, absent. Tinsky, here. Darren. She is gonna come. Billatier here, I give it.
Here.
Marcella's running late. She'll be here in a minute. All right, so we have a quorum. So next then, do we have any citizen comment? Somebody here, anybody on there? No citizen comment. Board of Education, anybody have any comments? Eric?
Code of conduct.
Code of conduct.
Right. We're on code number 3 today. Code number 3 reads, I will recognize that board member, excuse me, has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a board meeting. The author goes on to say, school board members must learn quickly that they have only one vote and are not a majority. They shall make no promises about how a vote may proceed and not work privately outside of board meetings to influence the votes of other board members. All this will do is quickly compromise the effectiveness and trust of the offending school board member.
Okay, thank you. So next then we will hear from teaching and learning.
And our fantastic teaching and learning.
Jill Unger, the Director of Teaching and Learning.
Hello, Gabrielle Dublin, Director of Multilingual Teaching and Learning.
And tonight we're here to talk about our wonderful summer professional development that occurred throughout the district and also look forward to the year that we have ahead. We had an incredible summer of professional learning. In total, there was over 40 different professional learning opportunities for our staff to participate in, which was over 2,000 hours of work that was spent on preparing our curriculum for this upcoming school year. And some of the highlights of this work include preparing for our Eureka Math Squared implementation in kindergarten through 5th grade. We're continuing to build our K2 literacy skills for small group teaching instruction and our phonics and phonemic awareness. We had a dual language workshop that was run by Dr. Devlin that she's going to talk about more soon. We have a 6th grade choir course now that's new this year. So this was a really wonderful opportunity for Muli Gupta, who is a teacher at Carl Sandburg, to collaborate with a MHS teacher on choir. And this is going to be a wonderful experience that will roll up with our students and help our students to participate in more of these fine arts at Mundelein High School. So this was very exciting. We also increased our Project Lead the Way courses, which are a STEM program that focuses also on career exploration. We currently had a design and modeling course, and we added a medical detectives course this school year. And next year we'll have a flight and space course. So there'll be a Project Lead the Way course in each grade level that focuses on engineering, which leads directly to the Project Lead the Way pathway and career exploration that continues in engineering at Mundelein High School. Let's see. We also created writing rubrics in 3rd through 5th grade to help us assess our students' writing and collaboratively see where our students are and how to support them. And we improved some of our writing lessons in kindergarten through 5th grade. We also formed an Illinois Comprehensive Literacy Plan Committee. The Illinois Comprehensive Literacy Plan, you might have heard about this throughout the past couple of years. It was developed as a roadmap to enhance and unify core literacy practices in school districts. And it contains 7 components of literacy. So our committee came together to really study all 7 components and discuss where we find ourselves really strong in implementing these components and where are some opportunities for growth within our district, and then create action items for us to continue building upon our literacy instruction and skills. So this was a really special opportunity that we had during summer school. So a woman named Janice Heigl, who has a company called Ed Solutions, developed a summer intervention math curriculum. And she and a team came to our school district and they worked hand in hand with teachers who are implementing the curriculum. So it was all job embedded professional development. They were there with them for 7 days, teaching the math lessons alongside them. And besides the experience of the curriculum, there's great best practices in instruction and interactive, engaging activities that the teachers are able to take away and implement now throughout the year. And then in addition to being with them throughout those 7 days, they also, after summer school was over, had 2 hours of direct professional learning with those teachers just focused on math instruction. So it was so powerful. The teachers who participated in it loved it, and the students did too. I just have some pictures. So the woman there in the middle, that's Janice, and those are some middle school 6th and 7th grade teachers that she worked with, and some 6th and 7th grade students and teachers together. And then in this next picture, you'll see Janice teaching the lesson and teachers that were working and taking notes. So they're kind of observing her. Then in the next lesson, there's a teacher that's sitting on the floor, and there's
great. She's right there, and then that's the mentor teacher.
Yes. So they're together implementing a game, a math game together, and the teachers got to keep all of these materials. And then that is a 3rd grade teacher who's implementing the curriculum and games together with her students. And then these are students using the manipulatives and playing the games independently. So it was a really strong experience for all. Very highly engaging and motivating for our students and teachers to come together like this. So.
And now I'm going to tell you about the dual language workshop that we had. It's about a week long. It was 4 days, and we had 23 staff members participate in these topics. And there were only like 2 that couldn't make it. So they were out of the country or with their families. We had very high attendance, representation at all grade levels, at all sites, school sites. So this year, instead of using consultants, the D75 staff were empowered to present to their peers. So we've been building capacity year over year, and it's paying off. And so these are the topics that they presented to each other: zones of biliteracy, foundational Spanish literacy. We also talked about language planning and mathematics as it relates to multilingual dual language classrooms, cooperative learning strategies, oracy strategies, the dictado, and Spanish grammar. And like I said, we're so proud and impressed with the capacity of our staff that they were able to lead these professional learning opportunities.
Okay. And throughout this year, some of the things that we are going to continue to focus on is one thing that's new in our district is a cross-building articulation cohort team. And this team is comprised of 6 teachers that span from Lincoln to Carl Sandburg. And the goal of this team is to enhance relationships and collaboration across the buildings. So we are going to be visiting classrooms within the buildings that the teachers currently work in, and then they're going to expand next semester into other buildings and just get a sense of the curriculum and the environment of the schools so that they can really build some connections and collaborations and not be isolated in buildings. This was derived from the teachers having an experience like this with our social studies adoption committee. And they said, we really want more of this. We think this will really benefit our staff. So we're honoring this. And this has been, we're off to a great start. Our first visit is at Mechanics Grove this week. We have a third grade dual language teacher visiting for one half of the day, all the different areas of the school, and then a fifth grade teacher visiting the second half of the day with a debrief in between and at the end, so that we can talk about what we're seeing and noticing the great things going on throughout our district. We also have built a professional learning community this year, and this is an ongoing process where educators really study what we want our students to know and be able to do. And then as we're rolling out our instruction with our students, we're constantly collaborating on, are our students meeting the goals that we're setting? Are they learning what we wanted them to achieve? And if not, what do we need to do differently? And there's collaboration among the staff with helping one another problem solve and build and inform their instruction. And then also, if students are mastering different concepts and need to have their curriculum enhanced, we're all working as a team to build these structures. And then we're reflecting on what we've done so that every year we get stronger and better and work together to collaborate to improve student learning. I'm sorry, yeah, sorry.
Something about the professional learning communities is that sometimes they're monolingual and dual language, but when appropriate, they're done together. So she mentioned earlier that they've been building on writing rubrics. That would be an example of something that we have common. So we have some common assessments for writing. And when those moments come up, we look as a professional learning community at student samples together. It also happens in mathematics at the upper grades because they're taught in one language. And so we have an opportunity to make sure that we're across the program model, appropriately looking at student data with not paying attention to the language of instruction.
And then, as you know, mathematics is a huge focus for this school year. So we're implementing a new math resource this year, the Eureka Math Square. So our professional learning is really built around that implementation at K-5. And in 6-8, we're focusing on interventions and supporting students that need more support in mathematics. Are there any questions about anything?
So in the dual language part, you said you had
Yeah.
almost full participation.
Yes.
Overall, how much staff were participating?
So we had 23, if we were full, I think it would have been 25.
Okay,
So one person lives out of the country in the summer with their family and the other was with family.
how about the other programs?
I don't believe there's barely any area of our district that wasn't offered some type of professional learning opportunity over the summer. So every K-5 teacher would have engaged in at least one, if not multiple. There's invitations, across different content and curricular areas. We had science teachers, social studies teachers, math teachers, PE teachers, building things. So I can't really think of anyone right now who didn't do something. Yes.
And how was it received by everybody? Doing it, how you did it this summer?
I think it really excites and engages the teachers because they have some time to step back and focus on the goals that they have in order to improve the student experience. So they really, it's very teacher driven based on what we're seeing as our student needs and what teachers are reporting that they need to work on. And so they're very engaged in these practices, and then they get excited to carry them out when it's something that they've been building and working on over the summer. So it's a very positive experience.
The teacher feedback from the dual language workshop was really positive. They felt very affirmed because they had been asking for certain things, which a lot of it was to do curriculum development. And the PD that I showed you was offered by the staff because they knew their friends needed it. So it was absolutely responding to experiences of the teachers, and they were presenting the topics they knew that their friends, colleagues, peers were going to benefit from. And I think when you know that the person presenting is presenting what you want to hear about, like you're just more excited and engaged. Instead of being told this is what you should know, it's more like, oh my gosh, someone explained dictado to me. And then they get it in this opportunity. So I think they were really excited. Ryan Zach set me up to be a success in that way because we developed the schedule together. So it's exactly what the staff needed. And they came really energized to those sessions.
I think you did a marvelous job. You offered quite a bit, and I think that's really important because we want that continuing education of our staff. And I'm sure you're planning already for next year, right?
Of course, we have our list.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that, I think you said next week for the sixth grade and the fifth grade dual language
Yes,
are going to,
on
are those our dual
Yes.
language?
Well, it's a third, so this is all happening within our district for the cross-building articulation committee. So it's a third, before we start branching out into the other buildings, the team met together this summer and said, before we go and visit another school, we should visit our own school. There's a lot of things happening within our school that we don't always get to see.
Yeah.
So within Mechanics Grove, we have a third grade teacher for half of the day that's going to be doing the visits, and then a fifth grade teacher. And the third grade teacher is a dual language teacher. The fifth grade teacher is a monolingual teacher. But we have teachers from all different areas that are participating in this.
Oh.
So this is just our first one. There's a teacher from Carl Sandburg that will do this within Carl Sandburg, and then 2 at Washington as well, and 1 from Lincoln. So once they're comfortable with relationships and having these experiences within their buildings, they're also going to be branching out to, the buildings with grade levels above and below, so they can see, where are students headed and where are they coming from. It just really helps understand the of a child.
Very good. Thank you.
I think there's a lot to celebrate and be proud of here. One of the things that stood out to me at the very beginning was the mention of the career exploration. That's something that we typically don't see until the secondary school level, and to introduce it to our students at the elementary level, I think is huge. It's also right on par with some of the things in the Vision 2030 that we're going to be talking about earlier. So it's cool to see that we're already implementing some of those things that are in that Vision 2030 that we're, I think, going to discuss more. The summer school and the math ed camp was really cool to see both students and teachers learning at the same time. And for the students to be able to see their teachers as also learners, I think is really beneficial. They need to know that their teachers are also learning and trying, and just like they are, and to get them to kind of experience that together, that was really cool. Empowering our staff to be experts and to share their knowledge in the dual language program is awesome. And the cross cohort building that is going to go around the building and just increase awareness of what's going on around the building is really cool. When you mentioned the PLCs, is that something that's new to the district?
So it's interesting. We've been moving in this direction and setting up for this over the years, I would say, by creating the common formative assessments along the way. And there was just a perfect opportunity to really strengthen these practices when we were bringing in a new math resource, because everybody really needed the time to dive into the material, to study a module, study a topic, really think about what we want our students to know and be able to do, and really come together around implementing and delivering these lessons. So it was the perfect time really to capitalize on this process that we wanted to build across, all subject areas. And it's been really easy to shift into also using this for writing or for reading. But I would say the math implementation of a new resource was just the perfect timing, and our district was really poised to do this because we've been working in this direction where we were already coming together to collaborate and share about instructional practices. But it's more about now what the students are doing, and that's the big shift, I would say. So it's been very natural,
Yeah.
natural progression.
How often do the PLC get to meet together?
So I would say that those collaboration meetings are happening once a week in every K-5 building, and then also in 6-8 in their department meetings. But the PLC, it's an ongoing process that I would say that's happening every day. You know, when I sat down with PE teachers to, you know, work out the process with them. I mean, every single day they're doing this. They're teaching the lessons. They're reflecting on how do they go. They're thinking about what do we want our students to do? Well, this one can kick a ball. This one, you know, is really having trouble figuring out where the ball is. Like, how are we gonna make this all come together? So, like I said, it was very natural. It's an ongoing process. In order for it to be authentic and really organic to the teachers, it has to be happening like as it comes. But we do have like set meetings for it where we're saying by this time we'll have given this exit ticket or we'll have given this assessment. And this is what we'll come to and talk about and look at. But I can promise you that, I mean, it's a constant. I was doing this lesson. This was really hard today. What did you do? And this type of structure just builds that ongoing collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next is, Sarah.
Hi. Good evening. I am here on behalf of Dr. Tafoya to go over the superintendent report. The first item should be covered tonight is, as Eric just mentioned, the IASA Vision 2030 discussion. I believe he spoke about this last month, and tonight it is up for board approval. As a reminder, this is an organization made up of many stakeholders, and their three pillars of focus are on future focused learning, shared accountability, and predictable funding. And it is one of the organizations, the predominant organization that helped move forward evidence-based funding that we're already in the implementation process of. And so that was part of Vision 2020. And now they've updated their goals and their vision to be Vision 2030. Does anyone have any questions or discussion about that one since it's further on in the agenda this evening?
Says 2030, but do they update this on a yearly basis as to any changes that might be done?
I have not seen a significant amount of change in regarding what their vision pillars are, but I think as the years move on, they tweak them and they might find more finite things that they want to focus on and specialize. And those are typically topics that they cover in their session at III. So it would be on an annual basis as part of the board conference.
They brought this up at the last division meeting and talked about it, did a presentation of it. So what you were just saying, I think is accurate. And I think one of the other things that's significant about it is they were talking about how many districts are already on board. So I think it's good for us to get involved with it as well.
I know I spoke earlier about the impact of having vocational instruction earlier in the elementary school. That's part of it, but another really, I think, important thing is the focus on predictable funding, especially with the future, the uncertainty with, the Department of Ed and federal funding, if the state can get together and all the districts can be supportive, and I think that's really important.
You're here. Okay, great. The next item is the criteria for board recognition. And I believe there was a copy of a draft of this in your folder for tonight is just an initial review and can be discussed again at a future meeting. It has been brought up in the past that we need to, or we would like to have more students recognized at board meetings and be able to celebrate their accomplishments. And so this was an attempt to craft some sort of criteria or rubric to use to determine what would qualify as an important event for students to come and be recognized at the board level. And so we have opportunities for both staff recognition, student or team recognition. And there are some examples listed in here, like receiving some sort of regional, state, or national award, honor certification, for a staff member, as well as for students. And so this is also something that the D120 board is also considering so that we can have a consistent set of guidelines to honor students, which is why you might see ACT, national merit finalists are typically more seen at the high school level, but still we offer opportunities for our students to receive state and national academic awards, and so those would qualify, as well as if in areas of fine arts, athletics, and any other performance distinction. So this is just an initial draft, and over the course of the next month, if you have any comments or questions or things you wanted to add, you can obviously send them to Ray or Christy, or you could contact Corey directly. Any initial thoughts?
I think it's great. I know we've been talking about doing something like this for a while, and we've gotten students in here before, but to have something more formal will make it easier and a better process. I love too that the staff are included in too, because we really haven't talked about that, but our staff pour their hearts into what they do, and I know they would love for that opportunity too.
Sure. We have a golden apple winner. I think that's worth honoring, or no.
Even if they're nominated for Golden, yeah, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Wonderful. And the third item for discussion tonight is the agenda and structure for the January joint board meeting. So historically, the last couple of years, we've used the January joint board meeting as an opportunity for each of the departments who are in shared service to give a progress report and an update on how our shared service work is going, what we've accomplished, what are we still focused on, and where do we see the rest of our year. Dr. Tafoya has been very observant these last few months in his onboarding process. And so he would like to propose the idea that the January shared meeting becomes more of a working discussion meeting with both boards to talk about topics like meeting structure, board committees, how do we organize our minutes and keep notes as board members. And all of this, I believe, came out of the work that was done with Laura Martinez at your summer professional development. And so this would be an opportunity for the boards to have more engagement in the flow and structure of how our system functions at the board level. So I believe that at this point, he is going to start seeking your feedback in terms of collecting a list of topics from both boards regarding what might be good discussion points to cover at that January meeting.
I think it's a good idea. You get into a rut by just doing the same over and over and over again.
I think it's good to wait, after the conference for the ones that are attending, so you can possibly bring in more stuff to be like looked at for that January.
I think now's a great time to do that.
Wonderful. Okay, so if you have any initial thoughts, he's excited to hear them. But like you said, Marcella, after you go to the conference, if you get more ideas or you meet other board members, that's always such a great opportunity to make professional connections and say, how does your board do it? And when do you have your committee of the whole versus subcommittees and those kinds of things? Or how do you keep your notes and stay informed? I think those are really nice ways to get a variety of perspectives when everyone is all in one place together. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, then next is board policy. So I guess that's what we,
I don't think that we had anything, I think reporting, right?
Next I see on the spreadsheet, it's for November.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if we have to do anything with the press policy though.
I mean, there was some policy stuff in that.
the press policy. And it's supposed to start again tonight. So Christie sent out a list for the assignment. But if you look at what was sent out, it started, like you say, in November. And you had to scroll all the way through to get to the bottom for tonight.
Okay.
So it was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
So if you
So we
didn't see
didn't scroll
it.
down.
Oh, yeah.
So we're starting today?
I'm not
I'm not prepared, I
thought
thought it was November.
I saw at the top too. I did
Yeah.
not go to the bottom.
All right. Yeah, because I know that was confusing. Because if you didn't look for it, it's like all the way through the whole thing. And it goes through November into 2026. And the whole year of 2026, and then starts again with September of 2025.
Because she just changed the dates, not.
Yeah, I scrolled down some, but I didn't go all the way to the
Took them out of
bottom.
order,
Yeah.
so. We'll push it back to next one, but
Yeah.
And maybe we talk about that too. Right, we can ask her and like. you said-
Cause I scrolled down a little bit, you know, and I saw that the dates were just.
I just
kept
thought,
going
yeah,
up.
I saw
Right.
2026 and
Okay.
2027, I was like,
Right.
okay, we're starting in November.
right. Okay,
Do you wanna do yours? Do
Huh?
you have yours?
well, I have mine. Yeah,
Did you wanna share it with us?
You want to?
Well,
I
it says
can.
here for September.
Huh?
It says for September, everyone review, section 4. Meeting procedures, things of this.
well, I think Marcella, I think you and me were on the list. You have yours?
Let me see if I usually do mine ahead of time, so let me see if I have it.
Most of them are right now. I have two, Elle has three, and Marcella has three.
Can we just push on to
Huh?
October?
That would be
Can we just
great,
push
yeah.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can we push it?
Yeah,
All right,
Yeah.
all right, it's pushed.
it's pushed.
So depending on how many there are, we might even double up.
yeah,
caught up
can do
again.
September and October, and October's.
Okay. So push September, October, and then maybe we can double up and do.
Do a quick, like,
You get
quick
caught up,
1 pager, like
Yeah.
what's the gist about it?
right? Just as general synopsis of what's going on. All right, then finance advisory. So we had a meeting last month on the 9th. Or was it this one? I think it was last month. On the 9th. So to give Kathy time, because we're getting ready for the tax levy that time of the year, so Kathy is gonna do a presentation next month, the October meeting, that'll bring us all up to speed on where we're at, what the budget looks like, and what we're planning on doing, where we should be with the tax levy and so forth. Right? Did I miss anything? Okay. Share service?
Who's on it? Who else was on it? Great.
Not me.
No, Emily is. No, I'm not on it anymore.
Oh, you're not?
It was changed.
Emily and
I thought it was
me?
I thought so.
I don't know. Called anything, so I don't know.
All right, Georgie, I'm gonna go.
You're gonna look?
Minute.
There hasn't been anything, I guess. Yeah, there's no update.
Okay,
Perfect.
no report.
Yeah.
Okay, community outreach. Eric and I are still working on that. The report will be forthcoming.
Yeah. We just need to look at our calendars and get some
Yeah,
breakfast together.
all right, then STEAM Foundation.
All right, so we had a meeting about 3 weeks ago. We are having another meeting in October. And we are planning, it's gonna be tacos and trivia, right? We'll be ready, gonna be hosted here on the line. And hopefully, don't have the food vendor yet. Hopefully, we get that in, so tacos would make sense. But we are in need of community businesses to join in the force of getting and collecting things that they would like to donate as part of their business or to be able to get some money for that night. So I will get to you guys a letter that you can help us spread the word out. If you know any businesses or you know anybody who would like to collaborate and kind of donate something from their business, that would be great. And then, of course, as soon as we get the actual date, I will let you know so you guys can be there to support.
Are you thinking of like doing raffle baskets that you want?
I believe
Businesses?
so. I think that's
Okay.
what they have done previously. I was not there last year, but I do believe that is something that they're looking at for this year, so.
So the donations from businesses, you're looking for things that would go in like a raffle basket or?
Correct,
Okay.
or
their services.
or if they would like to donate money, that could also be part of that.
have they done a silent auction there before? No.
Yeah,
I think that's what, I think that's the plan,
Yeah.
right? The silent auction. So if anything else comes up, I will let you know, but if I will get to you the letter, so maybe you can help us if you know of anybody in here. That's it.
okay, very good.
Thank you, sir.
CEDAW,
I have no updates at this time.
okay. No, I think that's just,
Are they still? They've started their search for the
Yes.
superintendent, correct?
Yeah, there is, sorry, can share there, there is a link from their search firm if you want to provide input.
Okay.
Share that.
I know I've seen something.
Yeah. It was hard to fill out because I don't know a lot about like their student outcomes and all of that. So, I mean, I can share that with everybody, but I thought it was kind of challenging to fill out just from our perspective. We don't know a lot about the questions that they're asking.
Yeah.
But that is ongoing. I can share the timeline again. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're in.
All right, then, village liaison, I just got two real quick things. There's been a lot of discussion about the Wertz property, Ivanhoe. So the village has put a web page up with information about it, background on it, where it's at, I kind of keep everybody updated on what's happening. So if you go to the village website, they have a page there that has all the information and updates. And then the other thing I thought was interesting was, there's a cemetery walk on September 27th. And it's at the, Ivanhoe Cemetery. So they had a 1 o'clock and a 3 o'clock. The 1 o'clock is full, so you can still get into the 3 o'clock. And there's a lot of history at that Ivanhoe Cemetery. There's a lot of people from the history of the village that are buried there, and they have, people who are dressed up in costumes of the time, and they give talks and so forth. But one of the things is the terrain is really rough, so it's hard for people to walk through. So they're going to do on October 1st at 7 o'clock at the Fremont Library. They recorded it, so you'll be able to see it on video. So it's not.
That's not open to the public, it's only a recording?
On the 1st. But on the 27th, you're at the cemetery, it's real life.
But how do people sign up for that?
I knew you were gonna ask, cause
That's what he doesn't know.
I'll send it to you, I forgot to write it down. Thanks, Georgie.
I am here. Here, George.
Is that other area that, they're building on now, they started working on Kitty Corner, but where's it at? Like at, 83 and Peterson, and it goes down to Winchester Road. They've started grading in there, and I believe that's part of, not 75, but it does come into the high school. And another old housing development.
Yeah. It's neat the way it's cut out, cause it's following right along the border of the cornfield.
Yeah, they didn't even harvest corn.
Yeah. And then, Winchester and 83 ought to be opening up pretty soon too. That's really messed up traffic.
A mess.
And then the village is annexing the southwest corners of 83 and Winchester. So their housing developments could be coming up out of where Target is following that up. And in the future, with those housing develops, Allegheny Road gets cut through and Winchester gets cut through, so it still is not for us, but for the high school. Okay, next is the consent agenda. Is there anything that anybody would like removed from the consent agenda? Okay, so make a motion then to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
Second. Georgie, second.
Fitzke,
Aye.
George, Eden.
Aye.
Pelletier, aye. Thurin,
Hi,
Carl, absent. Rose,
Aye.
Ingerhut, absent.
And then next is a motion to approve the IESA Vision 2030 resolution.
I recommend that the Board of Education, Mundelein Elementary School District 75 accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the IASA Vision 2030 resolution as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Says roll call here. Gotta do a roll
Was it a
call.
roll call?
It says it for this one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Billetier, aye. Hitzke.
Aye.
Aguirre.
Aye.
Rose.
Aye.
Carl absent. Durin.
Aye.
Fingerhut absent.
Okay, so next then, we were supposed to have an executive session, but we're gonna postpone that till next month. Which means that the other thing that was in the executive session, is on where we're going to executive session, was the approval of, the closed session minutes. So rather than going to a executive session, I think we would just take a vote.
Yeah.
So the motion would be that the Board of Education of Mundelein Elementary School District 75 accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the August 26, 2025 executive session minutes.
Second.
So is there a roll call?
Yep. Okay, Rose. This one says all.
Huh?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Everyone says.
Oh, okay.
Any opposed?
All right, then the next motion then is that the Board of Education of Mundelein Elementary School District 75 accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the following closed session minutes continue to require confidentiality and are recommended to remain in the closed session file.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say no.
Yeah. And then the next motion is that the Board of Education of Mundelein Elementary School District 75 accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the closed session verbatim records be destroyed as presented after September 23rd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
Okay. President's prerogative. President's not here, so I don't think there's any prerogative.
No vice. No vice president prerogative.
All right, then, so if there's no further business, then the meeting would stand adjourned at 6:50.
Okay.